and welcome to another Boyinapod podcast. Today's podcast is going to be a little bit different. We're switching things up a tad. We're actually going to get some of the members of the forum to ask us some questions. This has been suggested on the forum, so, well, we're going to do it. First up, Sagon Shredder, you can ask me or Ike questions.
Sure, man.
Yeah.
Well, Cam, Ike, yeah, I got a question for you. Well, really, musically, what are you guys listening to right now, currently?
Ike, do you want to take this one, like, first?
Sure. Well, I originally started listening to a lot of deadmau5, and then after that, I found Above and Beyond, and that really shaped my writing style because my chords are pretty emotional sometimes. But yeah, I'm actually still listening to a lot of deadmau5 and Above and Beyond, but it's also shaped by I don't know, Lucky Date and like a lot of other people that use Reason because I follow a lot of their tutorials, so that kind of shapes my sound as well.
Nice.
Yeah. For me, like, I listen to a lot of Cohen sound just because I think the production's great, and I like using Reese's in my dubstep tracks, even though, you know, it's more of a glitch hop thing or like Nero thing, but I like throwing it in there. I also listen to quite a bit of Eptic, a bit of Rusko, really just any of the dubstep stuff. And when I'm not listening to dubstep tracks, when I'm just listening to music, I like Outkast and I like Sublime. But yeah, that's pretty much
it. Somebody sample that, please.
All right. Andrew, how about your question?
Yes, I guess my question would be both to Dasty and Ike. What were your early influences in music?
Yeah, I was really influenced actually just by my family a lot because my dad's a drummer and my brother's a guitar player. So I kind of just grew up around music, even though I never really picked up an actual instrument like they did. I played a bit of guitar, I played a bit of piano, and that definitely helped for songwriting. Mm-hmm. But I think it was just being around my family, man. Yeah.
Cool.
Ike, what about you?
Well, my early influences started out from my parents introducing me to classic rock when I was younger, and then that sort of I just kept finding more stuff, and then I eventually got into metal, and then I got bored of that, and then somebody introduced me to Skrillex, and then it's kind of funny because I didn't really want to make dubstep at first, like most people do, but somebody showed me deadmau5. I think it was one of my friends that's like a pretty huge local DJ back home now, but I just started really listening to his stuff, and I really liked how he connected with his fans from all his Ustream stuff, so that kind of inspired me to make my own music.
Cool.
Sweet. Mr. Nice Guy, do you have a question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I came up with quite a good one. Like, what are some good ways to promote your music and advertise and, you know, getting it out to people?
Yeah.
Nice.
I think if there's anything that I do like decent, it would be that. My music might not be great, but I do a pretty good job of spamming
the forum. Well, now everybody's gonna spam the forum thanks to you.
So go on SoundCloud. You can shamelessly kind of use Cloud Killers. I got introduced to that by I think it was Harmonic. And yeah, it's just like you can comment on people's tracks and they'll probably return the favor. And if you put your stuff on Reddit, that always works too.
Yeah, Reddit's really good too.
If you put stuff on Reddit. I don't know. Make sure that you have like a Facebook page and all the other kind of social media stuff. Because the more stuff you have, the more of an audience you have to just kind of spam your links out to.
Yeah, I know the only thing I like don't have is a Twitter. And if you just have Twitter?
I have a Twitter, but not many people follow me for music or whatever. I mean, I should use it more often.
I've got all the social media network stuff, but I rarely ever use any of it, but like Facebook and YouTube. But I should use Twitter a lot more from what I've heard. But basically, my thing with promoting, even though I don't really have that big of a following, but I can say if you at least try and get involved in your local scene, like you can collab with people you know locally instead of over the internet, and if they DJ and play gigs anywhere, then that can get your name out there even more, because back when I was doing a lot of minimal genres and things like that, I just sent one of my tracks to a few of my friends that DJ, and one of the guys ended up really liking the track, so he remade the track into like this big room house tune. It actually came out pretty well from what it was, but we're trying to get it on Spinning Records or Monster Cat or something.
Nice.
But yeah, I'd say get involved in your local scene, and I'd have to suck at the Reddit thing, because I've gotten a lot of views from just posting on Reddit. Even in like the reason section of Reddit, there's a lot of people there that can still help you out, kind of like Boyinapod, I guess. But yeah, just local promotion and just Reddit and things like that can really help you out.
So that Reddit is like a real big music community as well, embedded in that Reddit?
Yeah, Reddit has a bit of everything.
Okay.
There's a lot of different like genre sections you can post on in Reddit with like 1,000 to 2,000 people that like subscribe to the thread. So it's a pretty awesome opportunity if you can get enough upvotes to get your track on the front page. It's kind of like a reverse section of the share your music thing. Like instead of just giving critiques,
right,
you like get upvotes and get upvoted on the front page.
Yeah. All right. Sagon, what else do you got for us?
Well, who was it or what was it that introduced you to the digital audio workstations you guys are currently using?
For me, I wanted to make hip hop beats when I first started out. I didn't really want to do, I wasn't into EDM when I started out. So I was kind of just searching around on the internet. I was a big fan of the Beastie Boys. I think I've told this story a few times actually, but I was a big fan of the Beastie Boys. And one of them were kind of talking about Reason as this powerhouse, and I was going, okay. So I basically said, yeah, I want that for Christmas, and that's what I got for Christmas. So.
Nice.
I guess that's how I started. Sorry, Ek.
Oh, you're good. Basically, how I got started was it was my freshman year in college, and one of my roommates actually made a lot of hip hop beats. And one day I asked him, I was like, "How do you make this stuff on a computer?" It's like it was like 4 years ago. I had like no idea like any music production stuff. So I had one of my friends that was in college like teach me the basics, like how to put things in loop in Reason and like just stupid stuff like that. But I sort of I just started learning on the internet, and then I went to a 2-year recording arts program in Florida that taught me the basics of audio engineering, and they had a little bit of music production classes, but it didn't go too in depth. But then again, I just learned the basics of a lot of stuff and kept learning on the internet at the same time. And I've been producing at least seriously for about 2 years now, and by seriously I mean at least 2 to 3 hours every day. So
Nice.
Yeah, pretty fucking seriously.
Yeah, you just have to keep at it and even if you still suck in the beginning, you'll realize how far you've come in the end, even when the end is only really the beginning. So just keep learning and keep researching. So that's the two most important things I could say.
Good.
Yeah, sure. Ask us. Yeah.
I'll ask you a sensible question. So this one's for both Ike and Das. When did you know you really enjoyed writing / producing music?
Really honestly, probably about a year or two ago. I mean, I'm pretty new to the production thing. I think I started about 2 years ago. So yeah, I guess when I first started with Reason, I had a good time, and I knew right then and there I really liked it.
I don't honestly. I'd say just a few months ago, even, like, I've just gotten to the point where I can actually enjoy this instead of just making everything based on a bunch of loops and being like, man, this is just really terrible. So I guess only really recently that I've really found that I enjoyed doing this. So yeah, well, once you start to get good enough that you can actually enjoy the music you make, it's a lot more enjoyable to, like, during the whole experience. So
It's an enjoyable time.
yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, a question. Okay. Like on a scale from 1 to 10, how big does your ego get from answering all these questions about yourself?
Probably about an 8.
Nice.
Well, Das, you have an ego and I don't, so
that is the difference between me and Ike. I'm a 17-year-old punk that needs his ego in check. But yeah, you know, I know I'm not the best on the forum. That's kind of an obvious thing. There's a lot of guys more talented than me. But it's good fun to have this podcast and answer questions and ask questions to other producers and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Deep.
Ike?
Honestly, I don't really have that big of an ego, but I'd say maybe a 4. I don't know. I like to keep things pretty humble because I know a lot of people ask me for critiques on their mixes and stuff, and I don't want to come off like an asshole or something like some people do, aka creeper.
You're gonna keep that bit in, just yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, like, I know I'm good at what I do, but that doesn't mean I can say other people are terrible at what they do. But because I'm not like Deadmau5 or anybody that could just speak his mind on whatever he feels like. So I try and be like really humble so other people can see my example and not be a douche to everybody.
Yeah.
I think those are good words.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have anything else they'd like to ask?
Have you met your quota, Andrew?
He's met his quota.
He's met his quota. Oh yeah. Want to share any producer tips on some of your favorite techniques that you're currently using now?
Okay.
That some people might not be aware of.
Well, mixing wise, I use a technique called parallel processing. I had sort of been familiar with it before the release of Reason 7, which I just downloaded this morning, but I watched a video, I think it was a tutorial video from the Freemasons. I'll link it in the description so you guys can watch it. But he just gave a really clear description, and I had never really realized that parallel processing could be used that effectively, because he just started building lots of different effects on his kick and his percussion, and that made it sound so much bigger than what it really was to begin with. So I'd just say layering and parallel processing. I don't really do much layering on my kicks anymore, because with parallel processing you can set one channel to be low, one channel to be the mids, and one channel to be the highs, and still have your original kick sample to mix in with all your different process channels.
Nice.
Yeah, I find for if you want to layer your kicks or whatever, I find it can actually make it sound kind of muddy. That's just me. It's too much work when you can just find a good kick sample.
Well, that's because you use Vengeance.
I do use Vengeance.
Vengeance.
But yeah,
Good samples, don't mock them.
But they are good samples. They are.
it depends on what you produce, but they can be decent if you just don't really feel like doing the mixing firsthand. Because what I've noticed a lot, at least recently, is I'll finish the track and finish the arrangement before I start mixing. Because if I get caught up in the mixing phase, then I'll have to either take a break or just quit working on the track itself, because I get so lost in the mixing phase that I don't even remember my original idea in the first place.
Yeah, if you guys use Reason, you might not have this, but do you ever have it where you're doing a track and your computer just can't keep up with it, so you're like forced to
No,
stop?
I don't use the VST, so I'm pretty lucky that way.
Yeah, same
It's
here.
kind of the one plus of being really limited.
So I had like at least three different tracks that were going really well, but I had to stop because my computer just kept glitching out and it was very annoying.
Yeah. I'm sure you have to save a lot. Just keep hitting like file save.
Lots of saves and lots of backups.
Sometimes I don't even like save a project that I start working on. It's a pretty bad habit, but I'll like come up with a really good melody and then be like halfway through the chorus, and then like I've only had Reason glitch out on me twice, but that was because I was doing something stupid on it. But like sometimes I'll accidentally close it and then I'll have to start over because I didn't save. So
I hate when that happens.
And to answer Sagon's question about like production tips and stuff, for me, what I like to do is it's all mixing is you should mix around your drums. Most people do a good job of this, but there's a few people that don't understand you should mix all around your drums for dance music. So if you make your drums first, then you make your bass. Just listen to your bass and then your drums, mute everything else and just see how those levels are together. And then listen to your lead and see how that stacks up against your kick and your snare. And that really helps to make a clean mix if you're not trying to mix everything at once.
Yeah.
I think that goes for all genres. As soon as you get the drums and the bass right in your mix, then everything else kind of follows quite nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say those are the two main things, at least, that if you get those right, then everything else should find its place pretty easily.
Yeah, I see a lot of people struggling with their mixes, and I've had people on the forum ask me to mix for them, and I just tell them, no, it's not too hard. Just mix everything around your drums and you'll be fine. Yeah, I'll take like one more question if anyone has anything else they feel like asking.
Respaces.
Huh?
Respaces or any in general clever ways of making sounds.
Respaces, honestly, the way I made my Reese was just from Cilantro being so nice and showing me. It's to do a lot with resampling, and once you keep resampling and making that like thick sound, you want to use bandpass filters for the wobble. You don't want to make it with a low pass filter or anything. You want to kind of draw in the automation with a bandpass filter. I use the ECF like 42 or whatever thing, and I just automate the frequency on that and do wobbles like that.
Nice.
Cool.
I actually have a question for Mr. Nice Guy.
Okay.
I was curious, some of your actual musical influences, like the bands or the musicians and artists, when you first started writing music. And I guess for you, it was like a lot of punk rock music, a lot of underground things.
Not that underground. Like when I first started listening to music, it was like really big with these skate punk bands like NoFX, Bad Religion, Propaganda. You know, and you know, we started making like the same kind of music until it got like really poppy and stupid with like Good Charlotte and like, oh my god, Busted and those guys. Jesus Christ.
Throw in a little bit of Blink 182.
Yeah, that's actually like the less of the less evil of the like really poppy punk bands, because at least they made really fun videos.
Okay.
But yeah, I always liked like Prodigy and Rage Against the Machine, which also like might be kind of electronic-ish because of all the effects. But like when I heard Prodigy Experience and this guy was sleeping on my couch, had a MIDI keyboard, then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna start making that shit too.
That's awesome.
Nice.
And then I started to really listen to electronic music, and I guess in the beginning I listened a lot to like Gabber and also like early rave breakbeat stuff and hardcore, happy hardcore and shit like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, I think that pretty much just wraps it up. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out here
Thanks
onto your
for having us.
computer.
Coming
and,
out. Coming out.
Thank you for having
coming
us
out
on.
here all the way to your computer to ask me a question.
Yeah.
It's good. Thanks, guys.
Good.
See ya.
All right.
All right.
Take care.